Hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. There's another update in the Thiago Saga. Mate, we're gonna sign Thiago! Man United will get Thiago, mate. We'll get Thiago. I don't even know the Manc accent, but there's more updates. Apparently Manchester United and Liverpool are now battling it out for Thiago's signature. I'm still confident Thiago will sign a new contract, because if everyone's gonna believe Christian Falk, then God... What am I going to believe? Women can have babies with women. Yeah, I'll believe that too. Even though it's not tangible and it could probably still work, it's just not going to be how you want your baby to come out. So that's what Falk is for me. He's basically like women having babies with each other. Yeah, it can happen, but it's just not really reliable. You don't want that, do you? But why did I use that one? So basically, Falk was asked by this Manchester United page whether or not this link Thiago is so close to joining Bayern was true, and Falk said I wouldn't say not true, which is basically him saying true, or his way of just saying I don't want to be in the mud if it doesn't happen, so therefore I'm just gonna say I wouldn't say not true. So it's just a really weird one. But then there's more. A lot of people believe Christian Falk is just this absolutely spotless journalist. Well, I'm actually just gonna prove that wrong. In terms of Bayern and Bayern players and what happens in and around the club, I'm going to read this to you. This is coming out from the Twitter account, Bald Bayern Fan. Leave the link in the description. Very, very insightful page on Bayern. But it's basically about the Bayern signings and announcements and reports that Falk did not get first. So, Lucas Hernandez to Bayern in 2018. That was not Christian Falk. 2019, actually, the beginning of 2019. That wasn't Falk, that was Marca, which is actually a Spanish source. Serge Gnabry to Bayern, that was by Kicker, still a German source. Philippe Coutinho, that was Mundo Deportivo, Globo Esporte, that's not Christian Falk. Actually, Bild technically denied the rumors. Ivan Perisic, that was Fabrizio Romano. Should make sense because Perisic is Italian, well, he was in the Italian league. Mikel Cousins, that was Sky Deutschland, so that's not Bild once again. And these are not like some players from 50 years ago. These are players over the last few seasons. So, Gnabry, that was a 2017 signing. Then he went out on loan, then came back last season. Alvaro Odriozola, that was Sky Deutschland. Not Bild again. Tanguy Kausi to Bayern, that was Le 10 Sport. That was Le Sport. So, Pavard, Le Sport, and Kicker again, breaking the story first. Arturo Vidal, that was La Cueta, Correa de lo Sport. And then Leon Goretzka to Bayern. That was Raphael Hollenstein from The Athletic and ESPN. Corentin Tolisso. That was L'Equipe de Français. Well, I need to stop using my accent. James Rodriguez. That was Marca. Pep Guardiola. That was Damasio. Well, Pep coming to Bayern. That was Damasio. Thiago Alcântara. That was ESPN and Marca. Pep also said he publicly wanted Thiago. Carlo Ancelotti. That was Cope and Gazzetta, so that's Carlo coming into Bayern. Xabi Alonso, that was also Cope, Marca. And then Douglas Costa, that was Damasio. So in the recent signings, Lewandowski, Davies. Bild weren't even the first ones to report on it. Of course not, right? So Bild got in the recent era, in the last few years. They got Sebastian Rudy, Niklas Süle, Jupp Heynckes coming back, which is pretty obviously what's going to happen all the time. They got Niko Kovac getting sacked, which we could all have guessed. They got Carlo Ancelotti getting sacked, which we could all have guessed. Like, it's so irrelevant what they get right. And Matt Hummels. So, even Alphonso Davies, for example, that was by a Canadian source. And that's what confuses me even more. So, that's where we're at. All right? That's my point with Bild. And that's why I don't listen to what Christian Falk says about anything. Because there's always an agenda. This Thiago agenda hasn't started or just been a thing in the last few months. No, it's been a thing since Thiago was signed here. How many stories has Falk gotten right for Bayern? How many has he broken first, not gotten right? He has gotten a few wrong, a lot more than right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take out Carlo Ancelotti's sacking, because that was obvious. Let's take out Niko Kovac's sacking. Jupp Heynckes' comeback. The only 3 players he's ever gotten right and first for his sport outlet, Bild, is Sebastian Rudy coming to Bayern, Mats Hummels coming to Bayern, and Niklas Süle coming to Bayern. 3 players out of the tens of players we've gotten over the years. How can you consider yourself a Bayern exclusive source and you're behind in every mechanism? You're behind for breaking stories that are in relation to Bayern. So that's why I don't believe Bild about anything. I think there is an agenda with Thiago. Okay, get this straight. So apparently, Bild came out and said, you know what? Thiago has already said goodbye to his teammates. But then all these sources are coming out from Liverpool's perspective that Jurgen Klopp doesn't really want Thiago at Bayern. He thinks he's a good player, but Klopp likes his midfield options of Keita, Curtis Jones, and also Wijnaldum. So Liverpool don't necessarily want Thiago because of the fact that he gets injuries, which I don't think Thiago's injury prone. He's going to pick up injuries. He's a technical player. He likes to get on the ball and go past people. So he's always going to get injuries. And he's also a highly energetic tackler. So he's always going to just be in physical fight all freaking 90 minutes long. And for me, I just see it. I think it's just another ploy from Bild. How can you say goodbye to someone and say, you know what? I'm done with you. Imagine this, right? You're married, you have a whole family, and you're like, I'm going to my new family. Screw all of you. I'm walking out. You go and you tell your kids you're going to go get some milk. But you ain't got no new family. How's that possible? I don't understand that. How can you say someone has already said goodbye, I'm going, but they haven't even booked their plane ticket? How can you say that you're driving to the airport and you haven't even booked your plane ticket? It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm just hopeful that what we're hearing in and around the Thiago story and saga is completely false. I think Thiago will still sign a new contract. I think this holiday, imagine Bayern win the Champions League. He'll want to stay. He'll want to continue being part of this team and then hand over that. And then there's a little bit of a good point that some of you have said, a great point that some of you said. Thiago's 29, right? It's a good time for Bayern to sell him, move on. My thing with that is, a lot of you wanted to die when we sold Bastian Schweinsteiger in 2016 because he was such a legend, such a player. You don't want to lose that. And it's going to be the same way with Thiago. It won't feel the same without Thiago. Not saying we'll be crap because he isn't actually starting. He hasn't been playing for the last 8 games. So it's not like we're going to considerably miss him. But in my opinion, I think it's going to feel very weird, at least a little bit, and would have to replace him. Bayern do understand the ramifications of this little virus situation in the world, and they'll want to save as much money as possible, which would mean that if Thiago was to go anywhere, he'd have to go this summer. He can't stay at Bayern and run down his contract, and nah, that's not it. But then there's also other sources. Raphael Hollenstein from The Athletic, very good Bayern source. You saw he broke a few stories, and he isn't like some Bayern-centrist reporter. He's more of a quality reporter rather than a quantity reporter, like a Falk, where anything comes out, you're tweeting it constantly. He's more a quality reporter, like a Fabrizio Romano, where if a story is getting closer, that's when you tweet. That's why I like Fabrizio Romano. He doesn't tweet BS. He doesn't tweet stupid things. He tweets when it's almost 2 days till it's happening. And that's what I like about Fabrizio. So Hollenstein said Thiago's wife would like to take the family back to Spain. And Thiago maybe had just waited for the negotiations to get advanced and said no. He said basically Bayern had the contract, gave Thiago everything he wanted, but last minute he said no, I changed my mind. And that's where we're at now. And then all of a sudden Liverpool came into the equation. Liverpool came into the equation because apparently, according to Bild, Thiago's teammates started creating rumors that he wanted to go to Liverpool, and he pretty much was by. But I'm so confused because Thiago himself wouldn't know where he's going if the contract situation was that advanced. If it was a last minute decision, then surely it can't be about Liverpool. Maybe Klopp called Thiago and was like, you're about to sign a new contract? Don't sign it. I want you at Liverpool. I'll do everything to pay you. But then there's also Manchester United, which I don't get. Why would Thiago go to United? No, I mean, look, United is building something, but you don't even know who your manager's going to be in 2 years. I don't think any world-class player, not saying you don't have any world-class players, I'm saying if you wanted world-class players, I don't know why they'd come to you knowing that your manager could be sacked next season because he has a team. I mean, outside of your first 11, you look like a freaking bunch of real Sunday League ballers. I just don't understand it. But I mean, I see him going to Liverpool, and I think Liverpool and Thiago would probably be a very weird fit. But for me, I just don't see it happening because you have Liverpool broke just as much as any club in the world right now, and they're even more broke because they don't like spending money anyways. Liverpool are a sell-to-buy club. The reason why they got Van Dijk and Alisson for the price they did was because they sold Coutinho to Barcelona for 150 million when you include all the add-ons. So with that in mind, they haven't sold anyone for the last 2 years of any significant money. So how are they going to pay 30 million or 50 million for Thiago? You never know. I want Bayern to keep Thiago though. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes with their contracts. No one does. We can all predict and say this story is close. A few days ago, Arsenal and Thomas Partey was extremely close. Now, a lot of sources are coming out saying he wants to sign a bumper deal at Atletico Madrid. And that's where we're at. I think that's the situation with a lot of clubs, where players might just want more money. It is what it is, though. We'll see what happens with Thiago's thing. Also, Bayern are probably able to offer Thiago more money if you don't consider the fact that we don't like spending money on transfers. Bayern are able to offer Thiago higher wages, and that would probably keep him here. That would probably make him want to stay. That's not really what I want. I don't want us to be giving players more money just because of wanting them to stay. But I also want us to be completely logical and also on our toes. I don't want us to be the biggest losers of the transfer window. Imagine getting Sané for the cheap price we did, and then Thiago's gone, Alaba's gone. Hansi Flick also wants to keep Thiago, so that's going to be a big ask. If we weren't able to retain Thiago, I don't think you can blame anyone but Thiago himself because he wanted to leave. But if there's a reason and a way we can talk to Thiago, and Hansi Flick wants to convince him to stay, and we can do it, and there's a small percentage I think Bayern should try. It's not like Thiago is our Messi. No, he isn't our best player. Right now, he isn't technically our best midfielder because he hasn't been this season, in my opinion. But you have to look at it from the big picture. Thiago is a world-class player, and when you lose a world-class player, you better replace him with another world-class player. And that's the most important thing that we have to look at and consider. We have Goretzka, who's been superb, but we also have to understand that Thiago is a level above everyone else. Even when Kimmich is in there, I'm just like, Thiago is just oozing different class. Not that Kimmich's crap, no. Just Thiago is just, he just makes me feel different when I watch him. Like, I'm not going to turn on my TV to watch Kimmich play by himself. No, but I can to Thiago because he just brings that Brazilian sauce. But the effectiveness and the technical elegance of a Spaniard, but also the defensive impetus of an Italiano. So it's so nice watching Thiago play because of just the way he interprets the game. He's not like a normal CDM where he'll want to just only break up play. He actually wants to get involved in the play, build out from the back, and he wants to be at the forefront of what Bayern do attacking wise and also be an important key member of our defense. And I think he's so crucial. His recoveries, the reason why I put ball recoveries there is because I love how sometimes it looks like we have no one, then Thiago tracks back. And he doesn't actually have 99 pace on FIFA. He's one of those players with 71 pace. But what he does well is he reads the game. He doesn't need to be fast all the time. He doesn't need to be running at 50 miles an hour. He can just know what's going to happen 2 minutes before it happens, to the point where he's always in the right position to cover. And I can't wait to see what happens though with Thiago. I'm actually very interested to see if the club are able to retain him. If they can't, then I want as much money away from the clubs that want him as possible. He's 29, picks up a few injuries, but other than that, he needs to win a Champions League here too. I mean, Bayern fans will probably hate him if he leaves, and in the fashion and manner that he did, in the timing of it as well. They will hate him. If he doesn't win no Champions League, no one's going to look at Thiago's time at Bayern as a success. Bild will push the agenda. The German news outlets will push the agenda that he is another failed player, foreign player at Bayern. Whether that has to do with racism, I don't know. But I think this is the end of this video. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Do appreciate it. Let me know what you think is going to happen in around the Thiago situation. It's really interesting to see constantly develop. Thank you everyone so much for watching this. Have a great day. Mia san mia and peace.